Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. All right, welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie, and we're going to talk about food. All right, first of all, as you're tuning in, tell me where you're tuning in from, and I want to know what you're having for lunch. If you have to answer only one of the questions, what are you having for lunch? Because when you share, it gives other people ideas. Now, it's interesting. A part of, I'll talk about that later. I'm going to show you something super simple. So I like to tell people, listen, keep it simple. Don't get overwhelmed. Oftentimes when people dive into this keto or low carb lifestyle or carnivore or just eating better, they try all these new recipes, or they feel like they've got to clear out their cupboards and only have keto food. So I want you to keep it super simple, right? Ask yourself the question, am I bored? Am I hungry? Am I emotionally eating? Is this the best option for me? And so as you're diving into keto, low carb, I'm currently doing carnivore. I want you to know this, like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Food is fuel. Food is your friend. Food gives you energy. And I want you to start thinking about the best options possible. So what are you having for lunch? I see a handful of you on. And if you can at some point share like your lunch, like I love egg salad or tuna fish or lettuce wraps or something super simple. And here's what I'm making my husband for lunch. It's super easy. I have roast beef and I have, turkey. Now, if we were doing keto or low carb, I also have lettuce wraps in the refrigerator. So I would do a lettuce wrap. I would put my meat in there with some mayo, and then but I'm doing it a little different because we are not eating vegetables. How dare we not eat vegetables? You want to know something interesting? Something that I've really been working on as we make this lunch is not being triggered by people. And usually when you've got a whole bunch of people that you enjoy, there's usually one or two that, could say something. And isn't it interesting how one person's voice, even if it's one out of a million or 1,000 or 10, can stick in your brain? Do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like, man, I'm having a great day and I've just got that one thing, right? So I'll answer your question in just a second, Norma. She asked if I track on carnivore and what that looks like. So I'll tell you in just a second. So here's what I'm making my husband. I have some cheese. If I was doing keto or low carb, I would put it in a lettuce wrap. I have some meat that I'm throwing on top of the cheese. I'm basically making him a taco with just meat and cheese. But I'm going to show you my secret ingredient, which is so good. If you have a Costco and they have these, I know somebody already told me I can make my own avocado, smash it up and add some lime. I get it. There are things that obviously you can make better and make easier, and you can make your own things, but there are some things that are just great to be convenient, isn't it? So here's what I have. Here is my husband's lunch. I have these. The secret ingredient is the avocado mash. So it's actually not like guacamole. When I got these from the store, I had no idea. But Steve and I went to Cancun in October, and one of the only things I ate there was their avocado. I thought it was guacamole, but it wasn't. All it was a whole bunch of avocados smashed together, and they added salt, like pepper and lime. I don't know what, it was so good that I really couldn't get enough of it. I told my husband, I was like, man, I'm gonna make my own. And I have worked on it, and I've squeezed some lime in my avocado. And I didn't even I got this for people to have tacos at our house the other day. This is what I had in Mexico. All it is smashed up avocados with probably some salt and pepper and lime. Now, I know I can make it myself, but I'm telling you, this makes it better than I do. So I'm buying the package. You can make it if you want to, but they're so good. It's called avocado mash. It's organic and it tastes delicious. So this is going to be my husband and I's lunch, right? All it is cheese, a whole bunch of meat. He's gonna wrap it up in a taco. Ta-da! You could easily keep your own hand, or I always tell people, if like look at how good that looks. Doesn't that look delicious? Of course it's good. It's so good. Okay, now you could easily put that in lettuce wrap. Totally awesome. We're not eating vegetables. Can't believe it. Right now we're eating meat, eggs, some dairy, avocados, and occasionally I'll put a banana, half a banana in my protein shake. I'm shaking things up, I know. But, okay, I wanna know what you're having for lunch because it gives other people ideas. If you went out for lunch and you stayed low carb, what did you have? I'll tell people low carb wraps. Keep some meat and cheese, some mayo and mustard and anything that you like in your refrigerator. So if you don't know what to eat, or grab a low carb wrap, right? And put it in your refrigerator and just keep that on hand. Some easy go-tos are like, we've got eggs, right? You can throw some sausage in the air fryer, pack your lunch for work. My kids had roast beef and cream cheese and pickle roll-ups. That's super easy. So don't overcomplicate it. And when you want to try a new recipe, try it on the weekend or try it on a different day when you have a little bit more time. But I feel like most times people just overcomplicate it. They get frustrated because all the new ingredients they don't have in their refrigerator, but you can easily keep in eggs, sausage, bacon, meat, cheeses. Like, think of less pasta and rice, more proteins, veggies, and salads. All right? Now, and the reason I ask is because you can always go to KetoMomSecrets.com, click on recipes. Now, isn't it interesting how I was like, man, I actually wasn't going to come on. I wasn't going to come on live and do an afternoon live because I was triggered, which I don't like that word, but I was irritated by somebody that sent a message to me. And then I was irritated because it's so like, do you ever find that you can't share the things that you're thankful for, or the things that isn't it weird how we've almost created a culture of like, if somebody is having a bad day, they can spew it all over the place, and people are like, I'm praying for you, I'm sending you good vibes, I'm so sorry. But if you're like truly joyful, people like to say things like, I don't want to see that, woe is me, I wish you'd stop posting about cold plunging and talk more about food. And here's what I want to tell you. However you decide to wake up in the morning, right? I hope that you wake up in the morning with a joyful heart to not only want to see your life better, but to make other people's lives better around you. So if you wake up and you're thankful and you've got like a heart of like gratitude, and you're like, I get to go to work, I get to hold the door for somebody, hey listen, I get to scrape the car for my husband or my wife or my teenagers because it's cold in most of the United States, I get it, I get to, right? You're gonna have a better day. If you wake up during the day, man, I'm sweating. I'm sorry. I feel like I actually have to apologize for where we live. It's very weird. I actually wasn't gonna post a picture of the girls sitting outside by the pool today because I was like, man, people are gonna be mad. And then I thought, you know what? I shouldn't have to apologize for the choices that our family has made, not to throw it in people's faces, but I like to document what our family does, right? And like, I'm truly joyful. Like, I wake up with an excitement for life. I'm excited to go read my Bible. I'm excited to share with you some things that I'm learning. I'm excited to share some recipes with you. I'm excited to cold plunge and share it with you. Why? Because most people are stuck in this hypnotic rhythm, going around the same mountain, stuck in their same old routines. They have a negative attitude. They want to tell you how they think, and they want to tell you what they think because they don't want you to be joyful, right? Like, most people are stuck in this like frustrated state, but guess what? You're going to have to shock yourself out of that state somehow or some way. And if you're doing the same things over and over again every single day, expecting different results, you're going to get no results. And so the reason I share other things like cold plunging or going for a run, when I'm going to tell you right now it's one of the hardest things I've done because I'm not naturally a runner. But I'm going to share with you what I do for fitness. And I'm going to share with you my cold plunges. Why? Because it might get you out of your own state to do something that's hard. Oh my goodness. Could you do something different? You might have to get different results, right? Like, I am feeling like I'm yelling because I get so frustrated when people want to tell you on the computer, or when they want to send you a message, or they want to say something like, hey, could you please do this? And I want to say, just remove yourself from my page. Because it's so, and it's interesting. It might be one voice, but it's interesting. You know, would you say something rude to somebody in front of their face, or would you only say it online, right? And how rude is it to think that you should be able to dictate somebody's page? Interesting, isn't it? I'm real fiery today. Like, I'm real fiery because I'm thankful. I've got a focus for me and my family. I want all of you to succeed. I share things to help inspire you. My goal is to push you enough to go, are you going to actually take action, or are you going to sit on the sidelines of life and wait for somebody else to come and do it? You're going to watch other people live their lives, or are you going to go live your own life? I'm real fiery. My kids are probably like, oh, mom's in a mood. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm in a thankful mood. Like, I'm thankful for people, right? Like, I'm thankful for where we live. We've chosen to live in Florida, right? We've chosen, yeah, it's nice out. My kids can sit by the pool. There's also spiders and lizards and things, right? But somebody was like, well, I'm thankful that I don't have snakes and alligators and spiders. And I was like, yeah, those stink, right? But I'm not going to look at those things. I'm just going to be thankful, right? Or, hey, would you please stop posting about your homeschooling? No, I won't. I'm a homeschool mom. Hey, could you get back to keto food? 100%. There is a bazillion recipes, whether it's on my page or Google or Pinterest. This page is not just going to be recipes. This page should push you, inspire you, make you think outside of the box. You should be thinking to yourself, wow, you're right. I'm doing the same things over and over again, and I have been for years, expecting different results. What should I do to be able to shock myself, to get myself off the couch or out of the chair, or something different that's going to drastically change my life, right? Because if you don't, then you have to be okay with where you're at. And if you're not okay with where you're at, whether it's in a relationship or finances or spiritually or emotionally or with your physical health, then you've got to make a shift. You've got to. And that's what we're going to talk about. One of the first things that you need to work on is your mindset, not the recipes I'm giving you. If you wake up crabby, and if you wake up to I have to go to work and I have to, then you've got to make a whole different shift before you decide to clean out that cupboard, right? You need to get up in the morning, thank the Lord that you're alive, and go, what do I get to do today? Who am I going to bless today? What are the choices I'm going to make that's going to make my life different than it has been before? Because you make choices every single day. My husband told the girls today, his principal dad homeschool lesson today was, guess what? You make choices every single day, all day long, and the choices that you make are going to dictate your life, good or bad, right or wrong, whether you want it to go that way or not. Choices either have rewards or consequences, and we all make our own choices. If you're watching, which you're an adult, you do the same. So I want to say, thanks for tuning in. Your presence matters. I did a live this morning and yesterday we talked about the power of water and what you're drinking. Today we talked about snacks and not overeating, right? And I really, truly wanted to come on here and say, hey, here's my lunch. It's super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. What are you having for lunch? I do want you to genuinely share and go hey, I'm having this, or here's my favorite low-carb lunch. I want you to add value to the community, and I will continue to share recipes, but I also am going to share my whole life. If you don't like it, it's all right, because you're not going to be everybody's best friend, right? So I want to say thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have this angst inside of you, I would challenge you to shut the camera off, put the phone down, and take 5 minutes and just breathe and say 5 things you're thankful for. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next live. Have a great day.